You guys love Ben Franklin videos. They're one of the best ways for you to improve listening comprehension and learn tricks to sound more natural when speaking English, like using specific reductions. This January, you're getting 5 all-new Ben Franklin videos where we do a full analysis of real American English conversations. Today's topic, dinner at a friend's house. Let's get started with this analysis. First, the whole conversation.
The sauce is on the table, so we've got the eggs and the rice. And usually the sometimes would have sticky rice with it, but I couldn't quite imagine eating this without this kind of rice, so we just went with the fluffy jasmine.
Ollie, what do you think of the food?
It's definitely on point.
Now the analysis.
The sauce is on the table, so we've got the eggs and the rice.
The sauce is on the table. What do you think are the 2 most stressed words there? I hear sauce and table, the stressed syllable of table.
The sauce is on the table. The sauce is on the table. The sauce is on the table.
The other words are said very quickly. The word the, pronounced with the schwa, the. Said really quickly, low in pitch, less clear. It's not the, but the. This is how we pronounce function words in conversation, the less important words. This provides contrast with the stress words, which we want to be clearer and longer and have an up-down shape of stress, intonation in the voice. The sauce is on the.
The sauce is on the table. The sauce is on the table. The sauce is on the table.
These 3 words link together very quickly. The ending Z sound links into the vowel is on the. The end consonant goes right into the TH sound with no break. And again, the word the, pronounced with the schwa very quickly, is on the. So it's not is on the. All of those are stressed, and that's not right, but it's is on the. A little mumbled, a little bit less clear, because they are function words, sauce and table. The 2 content words are longer, and all of the words and all of the sounds flow together smoothly with no jumps in pitch and no choppiness. The sauce is on the table.
The sauce is on the table. The sauce is on the table. The sauce is on the table, so we've got the eggs and the rice.
So we've got the eggs and the rice. Okay, what is the most stressed there? Eggs and rice. Both longer than the rest of the words. So we've got the. The vowel here is almost dropped. It's almost like we're just linking the S sound in. So we've got the. That helps say this word more quickly in this string of words that are said so quickly. So we've got the very quick V sound before the G. Then we have a stop T. So we don't say got the with a true T, but we say got the, where we stop the air really quickly in the throat. This symbolizes the stop T. The word the here, she pronounces it with the schwa. The rule is that if the next word begins with a vowel sound, like this word, that the E in the is pronounced as the E as in she sound, the. But I've noticed that this is not a rule that Americans necessarily follow all the time. The eggs. She says it with the schwa. It still sounds normal. Nobody would hear that and think she mispronounced the.
The eggs and the rice.
In the rice, and the. Between the 2 content words, we have 2 more function words, which will be said more quickly. The word and is reduced. The. We drop the vowel and put it into the schwa vowel instead, and we drop the D altogether. So schwa N, you don't need to try to make a schwa sound. It just gets absorbed by the end. Just make the N. Eggs in the rice. Got the eggs and the rice. Making this reduction helps us say this word really quickly, and we want to do that because it's not an important word, it's a function word. Those are less important. The more important words are the content words, and we want the stressed syllable of the content words to be longer. For example, rice. In the rice. N. Those two words said much more fast than rice, where we take a little bit more time and we have the up-down shape of stress. In the rice.
In the rice, in the rice, in the rice. And usually the sometime would have sticky rice with it.
And usually, so here she doesn't reduce the vowel, she keeps the full vowel, but she does drop the D. We almost never say the D unless we're thinking or holding out the word and for some reason. Usually, the stressed syllable there, usually the sometime would is the most stressed syllable of the sentence. And usually. So this word can be pronounced as 4 syllables, u, ju, ul, e, or more commonly 3 syllables, and that's what she does. Usually, you. So the u is in few diphthong, stressed, you, the zh sound, schwa L, it's just a dark L sound, usually, and the ending E vowel, usually. It's easier to pronounce this word as 3 syllables than 4, so I suggest that you practice it this way and use this pronunciation, usually. Usually the sometime would have sticky rice with it. The sometime, the said quickly with the schwa. Then we have a couple words that are a little bit more stressed. Of course, this is not English, this is Thai. She's making a Thai a Thai salad here. The word would, L is always silent. Usually the sometime would have sticky rice with it. Would have sticky rice with it. Would have sticky rice with it. So stick, the most stressed syllable there. Again, there's no L sound in the word would. Would have sticky rice with it. Would have sticky rice with it. A stop T at the end of it. So we stop the air in our throat. It. And this abrupt end signifies the T. Everything in this phrase is smoothly linked together. The D goes right into the H sound. She could have dropped the H, but she didn't. Would have. The V sound smoothly right into the ST cluster. The E vowel right into the R. The S sound right next to the W. Rice with. And the ending TH links right into the beginning vowel I with it. Would have sticky rice 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 with it. But I couldn't quite imagine eating this. This, the most stressed, as she's pointing to something. But I couldn't quite imagine eating this. So she puts a little break here between but and I. If she didn't, she would have flapped the T. But I couldn't. But I couldn't. Since she doesn't, she puts a break, separating these into 2 thought groups. We have a stop T. But I couldn't. But I couldn't quite imagine eating this. Couldn't quite. You can link the ending N right into the K sound while dropping the T. Couldn't quite. Or you can make a little stop in your throat. Couldn't quite. To signify the T there. Either one is okay. And just like with would, the L in could is silent. Both of these have the as in push vowel. Would, could, couldn't. But I couldn't quite imagine eating this. Quite imagine. Here we have an ending T sound linking into beginning vowel sound. And because the sound before the T was also a vowel or diphthong, it becomes a flap, which sounds like the D in American English. It might sound like the R in your language, depending on the language. Quite imagine. Quite The tongue just flaps once against the roof of the mouth. Quite imagine.
Quite imagine eating this.
Quite imagine eating. Another flap T here because it comes between two vowel sounds. Eating. Eating this.
Quite imagine eating this. Quite imagine eating this. Quite imagine eating this without this kind of rice.
Without. So she repeats herself with. She starts the word without. She pauses while she's thinking. Then she says the full word without. Stop T at the end because the next word begins with a consonant. This kind of rice. This, again, a little bit stressed because we're comparing this kind of rice with that kind of rice because it's the word that we're using to compare this, that, those, these. It's a little stressed. This kind of rice.
This kind of rice. This kind of rice. This kind of rice.
Kind of rice, kind of rice. The word of often pronounced without a consonant, but I do hear a light V sound here. However, the word is said quickly, kind of rice. It's a function word. It's not as important as the content words like this and rice. So it's a little bit more mumbled. It's said very quickly. Kind of rice.
Kind of rice, kind of rice, kind of rice.
Rice, rice. Her intonation goes up a little bit at the end because she's going to keep going. Making the intonation of her voice go up is a signal to us that she's not finished her sentence yet.
Rice, rice, rice. We just went with it.
We just went with it. She changes her mind, decides to say something different. We just went with it. This is the end of her thought. And at the end of her thought, her voice trails off a little bit and we get a little bit less air in it. So the last words sound like this. Went with it. Went with it.
We just went with it. We just went with it. We just went with it.
This is called a popcorn quality, and it comes in a lot at the ends of phrases in American English. So we just went with it. Let's talk about the pronunciation of we just went with it. We have an ST cluster followed by a consonant. In this case, we almost always drop the T sound. She does. So instead of just went, it's just went, just went, just went. Right from the S sound into the W sound.
We just went with it. We just went with it. We just went with it.
Went with it, went with it. Stop sound. We have a nasal N sound, which we stop in the throat. Went. That signifies the stop T. With it. Everything links together. T links into the I vowel, and we have another stop T because it's a T at the end of a phrase. We just went with it.
We just went with it. We just went with it. We just went with it.
The phrase to go with something means to go ahead with something, with an idea or with a situation, even if it's not what you originally imagined. So she's saying this is not the kind of rice she would usually imagine with this dish. But because of another dish, she decided to just go with it. We just went with it, she says.
We just went with it.
It shows flexibility, being able to go with the flow, to use another idiom. So if something comes up that's unplanned or unusual for you, but you move forward anyway, then you can say, you know what, I'm just going to go with it. Or in the past tense, I just went with it.
We just went with it. We just went with it. Fluffy Jasmine.
Fluffy Jasmine. Now someone else is talking in the background. It's a little hard to hear, but these are two-syllable words with stress on the first syllable. Fluffy Jasmine. Fluffy Jasmine. All linked together, all part of the same thought group where we have one steady line of intonation, of pitch. Fluffy Jasmine. Nothing choppy, nothing broken up. This is important in American English.
Fluffy Jasmine. Fluffy Jasmine. Fluffy Jasmine.
Ollie, what do you think of the food? Ollie, what do you think of the food? This is me speaking here behind the camera. Everything is linked together. Again, we have that smooth intonation. Ollie, what do you think of the food? These are the three most stressed words. Ollie, what do you think of the food? Ollie, what do you think of the food? Ollie, what do you think of the food? What do you become? What do you? woulda. So I drop the T, link the vowel into the D of do, woulda. And I've reduced the vowel here to the schwa in all three of these words, w, d, y. This helps me say them more quickly. They all link together, woulda, woulda. Try that with me, woulda. So it's definitely not what do you. That's way too well pronounced. This is not how we pronounce function words like this. Function words like these need to be lower in pitch, less clear, simplified mouth movements, woulda, 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 so that the stressed words pop out of the line more. It is this difference, this contrast between the stressed words, which are longer, clearer, louder, higher in pitch, against these unstressed words. It's this contrast that makes American English clear. What do you think of the food?
What do you think of the food? What do you think of the food? What do you think of the food?
Of and the. Two more function words together said very quickly. Just the schwa. I don't pronounce the V sound at all. The pronounced with the schwa. The. It's not of the, but the. This is how we pronounce this in conversation. The food. What do you think of the food? Think and food, both being clear and longer.
What do you think of the food? What do you think of the food? What do you think of the food?
It's definitely on point.
It's definitely on point. Def and point. Most stressed words there. The word it's is reduced. He doesn't really say a vowel. He just makes the TS sound. It's definitely. It's common to do this with the word it's, that's, what's, and let's. We just make the TS sound and attach it to the beginning of the next word. It's definitely.
It's definitely on point. It's definitely on point. It's definitely on point.
Definitely, a little stop T in there. Definitely, because the next sound is a consonant. Definitely on point.
It's definitely on point.
On point. And he doesn't really release the T. It's certainly not a true T. On point. Point. A nasal end sound, little bit of an abrupt stop. That's how we know it's a stop T. On point. On point. This is an idiom. What does the phrase on point mean? It means perfect, really good, high quality, excellent. And I will say I had this food and it was delicious. Let's listen to the whole conversation one more time.
The sauce is on the table, so we've got the eggs and the rice. And usually the sometimes would have sticky rice with it. But I couldn't quite imagine eating this without this kind of rice. So we just went with the fluffy jasmine. Ollie, what do you think of the food?
It's definitely on point.
That analysis is really fun and helpful, right? Click here to see other Ben Franklin videos on my YouTube channel. But if you're ready to go even further, even bigger, I challenge you this January to start the new year off right with a new commitment to your English studies. Join my online school, Rachel's English Academy. There you will find tons of Ben Franklin speech analysis videos just like this one that you can't get anywhere else. They're longer, they cover more conversation, and I add more each month. You have to have the interest. You have to make the time to watch the videos, to work with the audio. Can you do this? To help you get in the door, to help you get started, I'm offering a discount for the month of January. You can get the first month of the Academy for just $5. Use the code START2018 at checkout. The fee is normally $14 a month, which is a steal for what you get. Tools and support for self-study to make a real difference in how you sound. If you sign up and this method doesn't help you, no problem. Just email me within 30 days and you'll get a full refund. This is a subscription and you will be charged every month with continuous access to everything, but you can cancel at any time. Just email me and I will make that happen for you. So get this deal and in 2018, get the accent you want. More fluency, more ease in American conversation. If you want to see my absolute latest video, click here.
If you're new to the channel, check out this Where to Start playlist. Click here to subscribe. I make new videos on American English every Tuesday. To be sure we can keep in touch, click here to sign up for my newsletter. You'll get free lessons in your inbox every week.